1652 Formula One drivers and teams have arrived in Japan to tackle this weekend's event at Suzuka. JeepUpdate.net provides a compilation of some of their social media posts. Latest news: 1732 F1 1712 McLaren's Stoffel Vandoorne has described his back-to-back 7th-place finishes in Singapore and Malaysia as a real boost. F1 1652 Formula One drivers and teams have arrived in Japan to tackle this weekend's event at Suzuka. JeepUpdate.net provides a compilation. F1 1632 Suzuka joined the Formula One calendar in 1987 and has since become one of the sport's most revered circuits, dropping off the F1 1542 Penske has confirmed that Helio Castroneves will switch to sports car competition in 2018, bringing down the curtain on his Indy 1529. Andretti has announced that Stefan Wilson will race its 5th car at next year's running of the Indianapolis 500. Wilson will. Indy 1452 reigning Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg will join Sky Sports to act as a pundit for this weekend's Japanese Grand F1 1428 Formula One will be broadcast on ESPN in the United States from 2018, the corporation confirmed on Wednesday, after signing a F1 1328. Red Bull's Max Verstappen discusses overtaking and winning in Formula One, fresh from his victory at the Malaysian Grand Prix. In F1 1232 Haas team principal Günther Steiner is optimistic that Formula One has now visited the squad's worst circuits and can target a F1 1104. Ferrari-backed Formula 2 title leader Charles Leclerc visits the Prema factory ahead of this weekend's standalone round of the F2 1008. Renault technical director Bob Bell labeled the Malaysian Grand Prix as a wake-up call after a subdued display by the F1 0916 Formula One brake supplier Brembo looks at the requirements for the Casio Triangle, the hardest braking point at the Suzuka. F1 0842 Fernando Alonso says he is hoping to turn our fortunes around in Japan after a challenging string of events, culminating in F1 0742 Suzuka as the destination as Formula One moves directly from Malaysia to Japan in another intense back-to-back sequence. F1 0532 Formula E runs through the major talking points as the Electric Series returns to action for pre-season testing at the FA 1803. Sebastian Vettel's gearbox is fine following his incident with Lance Stroll in Malaysia, Ferrari has confirmed too. F1 1642 Formula One tire supplier Pirelli has predicted truly impressive G-force loadings at the Japanese Grand Prix, given 2017's F1 1619 Alex Palou will replace Robert Visau at Campos Racing for the final 2 rounds of the Formula 2 season at Jerez, Spain, and F2 1502 go behind the scenes with Mercedes drivers Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas over the course of the 19th and final Malaysian F1 1400. Ferrari will introduce different standards after both of its cars suffered engine failures at the Malaysian Grand Prix, says F1 1330. Mercedes boss Toto Wolff says that helping Valtteri Bottas return to form has become a priority for the squad, following his F1 1223. Red Bull driver Max Verstappen provides an update as he arrives in Japan after claiming his 2nd Formula One victory at the F1 1127 Toro Rosso team boss Franz Tost has praised Pierre Gasly for a fantastic Formula One debut, and expects him to make further F1 1023 F1 1011 Mercedes gathered team members from around its factory in the world to say thank you to Malaysia after 19 years on the F1 1002. Max Verstappen sealed his first victory of the campaign, while Lewis Hamilton extended his title advantage over Sebastian. F1 0734 Lewis Hamilton holds a 34-point championship advantage with just 5 events remaining. But nothing is certain amid Mercedes. F1 0538 Red Bull's Jonathan Wheatley talks through a typical Formula One race weekend as team manager, acting as the eyes and ears of F1 1646 Toro Rosso driver Carlos Sainz Jr. believes that an electrical problem denied him a strong chance of a points finish at the F1 1604. Max Verstappen delivered an overdue first win of 2017 while Lewis Hamilton extended his title lead over the recovering Sebastian. F1 1550 go behind the scenes with Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen at the Malaysian Grand Prix. F1 1542 Mark VDS rider Jack Miller will miss the Japanese Grand Prix after fracturing his right leg in a training accident in Motorsport 1506. Haas chief Günther Steiner reckons the team's lack of pace across one lap ruined its prospects of scoring points at the F1 1502. Rene Binder will compete for Rapax at this weekend's penultimate round of the Formula 2 Championship at the Circuito de F2 1428 Red Bull team principal Christian Horner heaped praise on a truly dominant Max Verstappen in the wake of the youngsters. F1 1333 here from Red Bull racer Daniel Ricciardo off the back of his podium finish at the Malaysian Grand Prix, aboard his flight from F1 1329 Force India's Esteban Ocon described his Malaysian Grand Prix as a race to forget after he was caught up in two separate F1 1216 Antonio Felix da Costa will continue with MS80 Andretti in Formula E for the fourth season of the Electric Series. The FA 1129 McLaren Honda driver Stoffel Vandoorne goes head-to-head with racing director Eric Boulier in a Malaysian Grand Prix quiz. F1